Welcome to Techniques with Miss Van Kampen. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to use underglaze on greenware with a stencil. So as you can see, I printed out an image and I've already cut it with an X-Acto knife. So now we have a stencil, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by taking my rubber tool and my slab of clay, and I'm just going to go ahead and smooth out. So I put my thumb in the middle and I hold it like that, and I'm always do both sides. So I'm going to flip it over, work on the other side now.
Jack it up.
Now that I've positioned this sideways, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to take my stencil and I'm going to lay it down on top of my wet piece of clay. I'm just going to press down lightly so that the stencil sticks to the clay. Then I'm going to go take my underglaze. This is a V387 bright red. Okay, this is an underglaze. And as you can see, it's a little bit watery, so I might close it and just shake it up. Okay, so now it's a little bit more mixed. You'll notice that the sponge is damp. There's no water really dripping out of it. I'm going to pick up some of the underglaze color with the sponge. And I'm just going to go ahead and dab over my stencil. This is a very light coating of underglaze. I'm going to go over this a couple more times once it dries. You don't want to add too much underglaze at once because it will go under the pieces that you've now cut out. Once you feel like you've added enough color, you can set your sponge aside. Always remember to cover your glazes. And once it's dry and ready, you can peel up your stencil. Set it aside. Stencils are reusable, so always save them. And you will notice that we are left with a beautiful picture of the lotus now in underglaze. If you do have some extra or excess underglaze that is unwanted, feel free to dip your paintbrush in a little bit of water, and you can actually just clean up those edges and remove some of that excess underglaze. This could have happened because the clay was a little bit too wet, or I applied too much underglaze at one time. So just be aware that you are taking your time and ensuring that the clay is prepared for a stencil work. You can always add on other colors if you'd like. I could take this stencil, I could actually move it over a little bit, and then I could do another print, which I will show you how to do. For my second print, I'm going to take a electric blue. Going to go grab a clean sponge. Okay, now that my sponge is all clean, again, it is not dripping water, so we know it's damp enough to use, but not too wet. I'm going to take my stencil, which I just used, and I'm actually going to move it over a little bit so that the red looks like a shadow and the blue will be on top. Once I've decided the location of my blue layer, shake it up, a nice consistency. I will take my semi-damp sponge, get a little bit of blue on there, and I will begin to, I'm just gonna flatten it out with my hand a little bit, and I will begin to sponge paint the blue right on top of that red. Again, you can also use other stencils that you find at Michael's Crafts or any other store like that. And once you're content with the amount of glaze, remember to always close up your underglazes. And you can peel away your stencil, put it aside, and you will be left with a beautiful print